What's up, Instagram? Dunya was good. This is week 3 of our conversations on InBeatWin. I'm so excited for today's guest, Harry Narrow. If anybody knows Harry, I know for sure they're not going to miss this call. He has a fascinating mind, and he's such a good soccer player. But we'll get more into Harry in a little bit. I'm still learning how to do these lives and how to make it what's up, Dunya? How to make it as professional as possible. But you know what? Sometimes you need it to look a little bit more hold on. Sometimes you gotta make it look a little bit more uncut. Alright, so today I am at Narrow. Normally I've done them in Panera, and this is the first day that I get to do them without having been coming from practice. So I got to relax a little bit before I go into this conversation with Harry. So we've been talking about InBeatWin. So it's a collection of merch that we're gonna drop very soon. Actually, today we'll be putting up some pictures. But the essence of our story is that every athlete has infinite stories inside of them, and so when you wear these hoodies, it's more for you to be able to go and tell a story as opposed to just represent infinite ballers. And when somebody asks you what does in between mean, you can tell them your story, what's inside of you, because we feel that beat that's inside of you is the only way to win one day at a time. So we're gonna have Harry jump in. Harry, you're gonna have to help me and ask to join, because I don't know how to get you to join. What's up, Niho? Niho or Nihao, as Matt would say. Oh, we got Luke. Man, I'm trying to do this live on a time in which Luke is not available, but can you hear me, Luke? Oh, snap. Look at this guy. I had not seen the flow other than in pictures. How are you, Harry?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Because there was a truck over here not too long ago. But how you doing, Harry?
I'm good. It's a nice day out. Going to New York for 2 games this weekend. I'm leaving in
Oh yeah,
right after this call, actually.
right after this call. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Who you going with? Dad, mom?
Yeah, I'm
Both?
going with my dad.
With dad? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't take too much, but I gotta ask about the flow. What inspired the flow? Because it's fire.
To be honest, you inspired the flow. It's like a Christmas party at Drew's house one night, and you showed up with a sick man bun. I was like, you know what? I gotta get that one day. And then when quarantine came, I was like, now is a better time than ever to grow out my hair. So then
I feel you.
I just kept it going.
Yeah, and because you could wear a hat. So there's this stage in which it's not too long or too short.
Yeah.
And so you just need to be able to be indoors or wear a hat
Yeah.
until the flow just looks like this, and then you can just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Who's this? All right, so we got some Harry fans here. What's up, Gee? Unreal man bun. I feel you, man. But you know what? Let's get into conversation so that you can get on to. We got big games this weekend. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Albertson on Saturday, East Meadow on Saturday, Albertson on Sunday.
Okay, they still got that number 11?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Except
yeah.
he's got a beard this time.
He's got a beard this time. There's no way he's
He does, bro.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe
Like 15,
wherever
he got a beard, bro.
he has to be 15. Maybe from wherever he's from, they used to ask some of our players because they were all either African or Hispanic. They were like, "How old are you?" And then we would say like, "Oh, 16." Like, what about in Colombia? What about in the U.S.? Because in Colombia, you're not that age. But all right, so the purpose of this call is just to talk a little bit, mainly about Harry. It's just so that I actually get to sit and talk with you for a bit. And if we can talk a little bit about in between, great. But I just enjoy talking to all the ballers. So we're dropping a collection called InBeatWin. And so we've talked to Dunia and Owen. And so the essence of it is just that when you go to the hospital, no matter why you're there, the first thing that they do is they check your pulse, regardless of how mild or how severe the emergency or injury may be. There's something about the doctor just has to find out how the rhythm of your heartbeat is. And so we felt that it's such a unique way to look at life. That it's almost like one beat at a time, and the beat is inside of you that will actually tell us how you're really doing on the outside. So who better than Harry with such a fascinating mind to walk us through? And so we'll just start with the simple question with you, Harry. Can you tell us, simple, why does Harry play football?
I play football because I simply enjoy it, and for one reason mainly is like the feeling when you score a goal, no matter if it's like in just small-sided games or in a real game or like recess with your friends and like elementary school, it's like it's the best feeling in the world. Like you can't remake that feeling, and I think that's like the number one feeling from a very young age that got me hooked, and I think that's why I still play the game today.
When you score a goal, there's something about when you score a goal. I agree with that. There's this feeling, and it doesn't matter where it is. The adrenaline just takes you somewhere. Are you so okay? So I guess I got another question that is not part of the questions that I had anticipated. Are you more of a you enjoy to score or you enjoy to assist? I guess the outcome is the score, and scoring as a team is always nostalgic. But if you had to choose one, what do you choose?
Had to choose one, I would prefer to score, but you know, whatever I can do to win at the end of the day is good.
Good. Yeah, it was interesting because I always, people would have to tell me to shoot more than now because I'm just so much more of someone who likes to assist. So actually in the chat, can anybody who's still on, drop in. Are you a goal scorer or you prefer to assist? Just to get some interaction going. All right, and then let's go into the next question. So we've been talking about InBeatWin. And so we've talked about the beat that's inside, but I don't know that we've gone in depth in what that word win. And so I think in order to understand the entire phrase, it would be good for us to define win. And so the question that I have for you is, can you explain how Harry defines success?
I would define success as, well, football is a very interesting sport because it's like 11 players on the field, and usually the team is like 18 players. So like it's not very individual. Although some days it can feel like maybe the team didn't play so well, but hey, maybe I had like a bunch of mini successes. Like maybe I went into tackles harder, and that was one of my goals that I was looking forward to achieving in that game. At the end of the day, I think success is measured by how much, like, how freely it feels to play. If you're like trying to force your mind to like put away distractions and like force your mind to go win, I feel like maybe that's success to some people, but not to me. To me, success is how freely you can feel to go and do it the next day, like keep going consistently, not like having to force wanting to play football, but just freely, like kind of attracting to the game and just wanting to be better freely, not forcefully.
Freely. Yeah, so I guess a word that stands out is freely, and freedom is something that we talked about a lot in the curriculum. And so I think when we are synchronized to our personal beat, I think we execute whatever our craft is significantly more freely. And there's so many distractions out there. And I think you say that it's a team sport and everybody else has different beats coming in. And then some players, and as you get older, you start to notice, especially in the college game, a bunch of individuals from all over the world come together and they all have different definitions of success. For some, it might be the fact that they made it to a school in which they've wanted to play, and it's the town or the state in which they grew up. And so they're in sync with that beat. Some may be coming to Europe, and maybe they're coming because they couldn't make it in Europe. And so the next opportunity is, can I make it in the US? And so now there's a beat of them trying to get to professional, and maybe that's the priority over the collective. Even and then the coaches, there's a lot of, when you're in this inside the coaching staff, sometimes I've heard or I've seen of several coaches who are in focus in the season, but at the same time there's that in the back of their head, if I have a good season, this might be the stepping stone to the next big role. And so it's really interesting to find a good balance, because none of those are good or bad. Is how can we find the right balance to be true to our beat and be true to the people around us? Because if I go into a coaching staff and I tell them, hey, I'm here because this is going to be a stepping stone and I'm committing here for 2-3 years, as opposed to maybe saying, hey, I'm here a diehard, I don't know, pick any school, Virginia fan, and I want to be here the rest of my life, and that's not true, then you're not going to be able to express your beat freely, because then when you lose, you're going to question, okay, is this stepping stone actually going to take me? And so you start to lose your transparency with the people around you. So I love that you touch on that word freedom, because in anything that you do, if you're able to tap into the freedom, you're going to tap into your most creative side. I remember, you got me going for a bit right now, but I remember the first time I saw you play, it was in an ECNL ID clinic, and I just saw that freedom in you. And I saw you just take the midfield, and you've always been a little bit shorter than people around you, but you control the entire game. And so one of the things that I wanted to find a way to do is, how can I transmit this freedom into the game? And so going into our next question, I feel that sometimes our definition of success can actually be the foundation to some of our doubts. And so if we define success by, can I play a full game? Or if we define success by, are the scouts going to be happy with my performance and my coach going to be happy with my performance, then our success starts to create a doubt. And in the run of play, and when you miss a pass, when you make a mistake, it starts to mess with how you execute the rest of the game. So someone as young as you, who has so many goals and so many dreams, I'm sure that some point during your career or in your everyday, you experience doubts. Describe to us how Harry deals with doubt.
Well, I feel like I think about like new strategies like very often, like every week. But I think like one thing that you can look at, how what you were saying about how sometimes the way you measure success can become doubtful, is because like sometimes I look at it like it's an infinite journey. Like it's never like there's a goal that I reach and then everything stops there and that's like it. Like I work for everything till then. No, not really. It's
Wow,
like
that's good.
it's forever. Like, and like you were saying about stepping stones and where InBeatWin comes from, in between, you want to like enjoy the work in between. Like everything is your goal where you were working towards like your whole life, and then everything is also a stepping stone. You may not know which, but
That's good.
that's what it is. Like maybe soccer isn't my reality one day, but I'm positive, 100% positive, that it will be a stepping stone and bring me to my reality one day.
Wow.
So
That's so good.
when I think about doubt, I just kind of think about like, I don't know, like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I don't really feel that much doubt because I'm never stopping my journey. Like maybe
Ooh,
the doubt will even help me. So I don't
yeah.
know if that makes sense. I'm not really sure.
So, so it's almost like when you are able to tap into this infinite journey, doubt starts to fall apart, because even the
Right.
difficult moments are actually um, leading you to whatever your next part of life is.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good, because I think it's not something that we don't feel. We decide to call it doubt, but I wonder if we're able to think in a more, um, I guess the word that comes to mind is infinite, is, hold on, sorry, is the word infinite. And so how we can tap into this infinite state of mind will allow us to enjoy where we are today, whether it's good or bad. And I think I agree. I think I think we are sometimes focused on the destination, as opposed to the journey there. And when we focus on the destination, we assume that we have necessarily the control to where we want to get. And one of the definitions in our curriculum was that freedom is just the freedom to chase where you're meant to get, as opposed to where you want to get. And I love when you say that soccer may be with you today, but that might not be what may define who Harry is later on. And I think that makes you value yourself more than the game. And I think
Yeah.
that's a big part when we talk about being in beat, that Harry's beat is not defined by soccer. Harry's beat is defined by who Harry is today, and maybe he will have soccer tomorrow, and maybe he won't, or maybe he won't. But it's a powerful and way to think about things, and I think anybody at your age or even older, there's people older than you that still miss this, and they are defined by the win as opposed to the in beat. And so, lastly, Harry, we appreciate. I mean, you talked for like 10 minutes, but you already threw us all these gold things that you're always inspiring. I think I remember in one of our curriculums when we were with Dunya, you said something, and then Dunya had to like go off and text me on the side like, I don't understand, but this kid is brilliant. And I was like, tell me about it. Like that's one thing that I missed, that I got to go to training and I got to hang out with Harry all the time. But other than that, I think one thing that we should stay with is that we forget that when we go back to that scenario of going to the doctor, as long as you have beat inside of you, there's a story to tell, right? And no matter how good your day is, no matter how bad your day is, whether your health is suffering or whether you had a bad training session, if you go to bed, you put your head on the pillow, and there's beat inside of you, you've won that day. And you have a story to tell, and so the story continues as long as there's beat. So let me just have you leave us with one takeaway that you would want anybody your age or maybe younger to keep in mind as an athlete or as a human.
I was just gonna mention, as you were talking about how I was just thinking about, you were talking about definitions that we learned in the curriculum, and I started thinking
Yeah.
about our Kobe unit and how one of the quotes we used from him during that unit was, life is a constant quest to be the best version of yourself. And I actually have that on my wall in my room today. And I kind of take that with me, because the key word in that is, life is a constant quest to be the best version of yourself. It's not the best player, best dad, best work, whatever. It's not that. It's just version. So almost everything's a stepping stone. The journey never ends. So I would like to kind of walk away with that today, that every day is a step towards the best version of yourself, not the best specific category.
Wow. And we didn't even go in depth with what you just said in the curriculum. We didn't even point out the word version. That's a whole other, that might be season 4.
Yeah.
Just focus on the version. I love that, Harry. Well, thank you so much, Harry. One last question. Who is winning this Champions League this year?
I mean, Phil Foden might just win it by himself. I mean, like,
I don't know who I told. I think Owen. I told Owen, the best player in the world right now is Phil Foden. He said after Mount. What's his name? Mason Mount. Yeah, because he's obviously a Chelsea fan.
Every day at practice, Hans is like, Mount's better than Foden. I'm like, dude, just go away. Just go away.
Impossible. The stuff this kid is doing, he's gonna take over. It's gonna be him and Mbappe.
So good.
But okay. Bro. So you go with City. City's taking the Champions League?
I go with City, yeah.
You think so? You're not scared of PSG?
No way.
Okay, easy win. All right, Harry. Well, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best this weekend. Be in beat, in the hotel, in the car ride, in the game, in the bench, wherever you are. Thank you for blessing us with so much wisdom. And I will be in touch soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Take care, man.
All right, see you, bro.
Yep.